Hi, everyone. Welcome back. I am joined again by Brian Wallace, and today we are talking about how to help people be themselves, how to offer hospitality in our small groups. Hi, Brian. Good to see you.
Good to see you, Drew. It's great to be together again.
It is. It really is. Brian, when I hear the word hospitality, sometimes I think about like Southern Comfort Magazine or Martha Stewart. And there's an element of that side of hospitality that makes me a little bit anxious. My palms get a little sweaty because I'm thinking about how I don't know how to get my souffle to rise correctly. What is hospitality in the context of a small group? I'm hoping that it's not quite Martha Stewart level.
Well, my wife would always say that formality is the enemy of hospitality. Not
Oh,
that you can't have a formal event, but when everything is formal and structured, it it doesn't do the work of hospitality by itself, because hospitality in the end is about helping people feel at home in your space,
hmm.
about them having their needs met, about having their fears allayed, about having their questions answered so that they know how to participate in a really helpful way, in a way that helps them feel like they're part of a community. So ultimately, hospitality is about removing the barriers for participation for old and new people along the way.
Brian, what is the impact of hospitality when it's done well? Like, what difference does it make for a small group when the hospitality is on point?
I might say, of all the people I've met and heard about why they chose a church that they're part of, it's almost never because, oh, they're theologically perfectly aligned with this community
Hmm.
or they loved how they did communion. It was usually because they said, I found myself in a community where I belonged. So when hospitality in a small group works, it's creating this sense of welcome and belonging to a new person and to the old people, in such that they sense that these are my people. I'm cared for in this space. They see me, they notice me. So the attentiveness to hospitality can go a long way towards creating that space.
That is so important. I mean, even when you're looking at a spiritual outcome, like somebody's growth, if somebody doesn't feel comfortable enough to venture an answer or to ask a question that they think might be a little bit silly or, isn't maybe doesn't conform, that can undercut and defeat any of the things that you're trying to accomplish in your small group for spiritual growth, for community, for connection. So it makes sense that hospitality is almost a necessary prerequisite for
Yeah,
all the things we want to get to.
totally. It is the gift that enables people the comfort level to grow and the comfort level to be open to new people and to entering into a new community. Um, again, that's the gift that hospitality does. The leader is anticipating people's needs, anticipating their questions, and even anticipating their fears. And how can I remove those barriers so that that person can become part of this community, ask questions that they have, whether they feel silly with the question or they feel dumb with the question, but they're able to come and just be who they are. And when hospitality is really working, people don't notice it necessarily. It's just created the environment where everyone feels at home.
That's awesome, Brian. It does feel like there's a lot of dimensions to that. Like it could become really complicated. I like what you're saying about it's really a focus of how our participants are experiencing the small group. We're really zeroed in on how they're reacting to the environment, to what we're doing. What else would you say in terms of for somebody who's helping with the hospitality of a small group? What can we focus on? What's a question we can ask ourselves, or what's a goal we can have that's going to kind of lead us in the right direction for improving the hospitality we're offering?
Well, I want to piggyback off on the last video that you people watched in terms of communication. So,
Hmm.
because good communication can go a long way to providing that hospitality that people need. What time does it start? How formal an event it is? What's going to happen? What's not going to happen? Even some of those questions about what's going to be expected. Some people will come with almost no fear, and some will bring lots of fears with them. And that's why, I encourage the hospitality element to be, I'm providing good communication so that this person feels welcomed into this space. How long is it going to be? Will I be asked to do anything or say anything? Answering those questions in advance for people through good communication is really helpful. And then secondly, no one likes to feel like they're showing up at someone's home and they're unexpected. It's like that feels awkward. Right. So just being prepared and being present in the moment so that you're not rushing around trying to finalize the last kinds of things and getting the kids in bed, so that when someone shows up at your door, especially a new person, you're ready to be present to them, greet them, and then be able to pay attention to the cues that they're giving you about their comfort level. Are they gregarious and outgoing? Are they a little shy and quiet? All of those questions, being present to them, will enable you to be a better, host into your home and into a larger community.
Brian, one thing I love about what you're saying is that it feels like in the anxiety of hospitality, we kind of look at ourselves. Am I meeting the expectations of the host? Did I get the napkin folded right? But what you're saying is that effective hospitality, real hospitality, has its eyes outward at the guest, really has them at the center of our attention. And we're able to kind of be self-forgetful in a way where we can really zoom in on what is the new person's question? How are they feeling? They don't know. Maybe I can make some introductions, just really anticipating what some of those needs are.
I've been to some places where there was amazing hospitality in the formality elements. The food was incredible. The table was immaculate. The centerpiece was perfectly placed. But I didn't always walk away from those events going, I made a good friend. Mm-hmm. Or I belong in their home. Right. Or I feel comfortable walking to their cabinet and grabbing a glass and fixing myself a glass of water. My wife and I kind of gauge hospitality of the people in our small groups is like when they start getting their own glass of water or finding their own napkin, not because we don't want to care for them in those ways, but, that's someone who feels comfortable in this space. Right. They own this space. They own the group in a little bit. So I've been to some other places where there was store-bought cookies on a paper plate, but I felt like part of their family in a way. And so if you're someone who likes to give those details, go for it. My wife is one of those. I mean, a homemade dessert every time small group happened, with a different kind of plate that complemented it. But that's not what people felt welcomed by in her home. It was the fact that Lisa paid attention to the questions that they had the week before, and she remembered details about them, and she welcomed them into her pantry and said, hey, grab whatever you want. Those were the things that made people feel like they were part of the family called our small group.
It's beautiful, Brian. I love it. Thank you so much. I look forward to us being able to put this into practice to help people feel comfortable being themselves and feel welcome in our small groups.
Sounds great.